Hey there, so I thought I'd film a fun little video for you guys comparing the e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzer with the e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzing cream. So these are both in supposedly the same shade, the Saint Lucia. Once again, I've already mentioned I cannot pronounce it to save my life, but it's that right there. And just to show you what the product looks like, this is the cream. I got a little bit messy. They are supposed to both come with these little transparent sheet things, but I took them out because, I mean, it gets messy, but it doesn't get that messy. So this is the contouring bronzer and cream. And I'm going to compare it to the powder version, which is this right here. Now, I don't know if you can pick up on camera. Yeah, you should be able to. These are shimmery, whereas the cream versions are not. I just want to double check so I'm not speaking out of my bum here. Nope, they are not shimmery. So these are matte shades, the creams, and the powders are shimmery shades. So I'm going to do sort of like a little review on them, comparing them. I'm going to swatch them on my arm, and I'm also wearing one on each cheek. So you'll be able to see that, and I'm going to show you how I applied it as well, just at the end of the video. For starters, these are supposed to be similar in comparison to the NARS Duo for the blush and bronzer, the Laguna bronzer, and the Orgasm blush. And you see definitely where they're coming from. A lot of the packaging is similar to the NARS packaging. And there's quite a bit in here. I can't remember which one has more product, but either way, these are only $3. So this is supposed to be very similar to the Orgasm, and I have Orgasm and it's not, but I can definitely see where they're coming from. So I'm gonna go ahead, where am I gonna swatch this? I have stuff everywhere. I'm gonna swatch it, I guess, on my hand. Okay, so that's the powder bronzer and the powder blush. And then to swatch the cream version, I'm going to swatch the cream blush, which is really nice and creamy. I love this. Okay, so the top is the cream product compared to the powder. So you can definitely see that they're in the same shade range, but the creams are much more pigmented. As for the bronzer, the cream bronzer is a lot warmer, I want to say. It's not darker, it's just warmer. And the blush for the cream is much more pigmented. Overall, I like the cream better than the powder. I've had the powder for a little while now, and I haven't found myself reaching for it very often, whereas the cream I've been using quite a bit, considering I have a lot of blushes, so I've been using them quite often. I'm just gonna wipe this off my hands so I don't get it everywhere. Yes, so I do enjoy the cream a little bit better. I love how creamy it is. They're really easy and simple to apply. And I don't know, the blush is a little bit powdery, and I enjoy their blushes, but I feel for some reason like the one in the Duo set is a little bit powderier than the normal Studio line. So as for how I applied on my cheeks, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys now how I applied on my cheeks. Okay, so I went ahead and I've plugged in my charger. All I have to say is thankfully I can film and charge at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply the products. So first I'm going to apply the powder, and yeah, once again, this is the powder. The brush that I'm going to be using for the bronzer is the Real Techniques contour brush. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm just going to dip in. I kind of like to stipple the end in a little bit and then top off a tiny bit of the excess. And I'll put the cream, no, I put the powder on this side, I suppose. So I have fairly defined cheekbones, like I can see where they are, but if you don't know where they are, you can just a little bit, ow, I have like a cut in my mouth and that really hurt. You just kind of do a little fishy face and you'll see where the line's supposed to be. So it's essentially from the top of your ear sort of like down to your mouth, but you don't do a full line there. So 101 in bronze contouring, I guess. So I'm just going to, actually I'm going to use the mirror on this. How about that? So you can definitely see the strong line. I like to put a little bit more than necessary, and then I blend it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bronzer and I'm going to kind of go around my temples and bring it down, and then on my jawline a little bit. And then I'm just sweeping it back and forth to really blend it in. And you don't want to go lower than that sort of cheekbone area. So it's better to go up rather than lower if you really need to blend it out a little bit. And then you just blend it in with your blush. At least that's how I do it. So it's all blended in. I hope you can see that. And now for the blush, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the e.l.f. blush brush, just the standard blush brush, and I'm going to dip it into the blush. And how I normally dip it in is I just sort of like smush it around a bit, tap off a little bit of the excess. For blush, I definitely don't like to put a lot because I prefer not to look a little bit like a clown. So I did a video on how to apply a really pigmented blush using a stipple brush, so I can link that for you if you wanted to go watch that. It was a little while ago. So now I apply it directly on top of the bronzer. I like to concentrate on my upper cheekbone towards my ear rather than on my I don't know if the light's really strong, but it looks strong to me, rather than on the apples of my cheeks, because that's what I feel like suits my face better. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dip in a little bit and reapply. Okay, so that side's done. As for the other side, for the cream bronzer, I'm going to use this pointed foundation brush from e.l.f. And I'm really just getting a little bit in here because this is quite pigmented. Just going to dip a tiny little bit more, apply it right to that little crevice area, and then just stipple it. As for the cream blush, I'm going to use the small stipple brush from e.l.f. I'm stippling it in here. I think I got too much on my brush, so I'm dabbing it off, and I totally got too much on my brush. I'm dabbing it off on my wrist or hand or anywhere that you could dab off. I wasn't thinking when I dipped in too much. And then you want to start at the upper part and just stipple it on top of the bronzer. Well, not directly on top, but you catch my drift. Get out of my way. The e.l.f. cream bronzer and a blush. I hope you could see that if my lighting's not too harsh. Showing like the glare or something. I don't know how to fix it. That's the cream. And this is the powder. So as you can see, the cream blush is much more pigmented. I like the color a lot better. There's also no shimmer. And then as for the other side, which is the powder, the blush has a little bit of shimmer in there, and the bronzer is a little bit lighter, not as deep. Okay, so I hope you liked my quick little review. It was quite short. It's more a demonstration than a review. So once again, this is the cream and this is the powder, and these are the swatches. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like these sort of comparison videos, reviews on e.l.f. products, because I find a lot of e.l.f. products, it's really hard. The swatches online are not adequate. So if you like these sort of reviews and you like my videos, please thumbs up to let me know. And if you haven't subscribed, well, just subscribe. What's stopping you? So yeah, thanks so much for watching.